Along with Royal Church, this is Aaron Sanders. We welcome you to the St. Clair College Sportsplex, where today we have more OCAA basketball action, as today the Niagara Knights play against the St. Clair Saints. And Royal, right out of the bat, we talk about the Niagara Knights. Yesterday they had their first game under their new head coach, Christopher Rayo. It wasn't a good one, to say the least, but you know what? At this time, it's not a matter of getting the points, it's a matter of building up the chemistry, and that's what the Knights are planning to do here this season.
Yeah, Aaron, let's be honest, they got punched in the mouth. 7 rookies out of 13 players. That's a lot of new people to get to be taught a system, to learn about their teammates, to get together as a group and really get some chemistry going. It takes a while. So they're going to find it's going to take probably about a third to a half a season to get it together, so that they're competitive with all the other teams in the OCAA West.
The Lambton Lions defeated them 89-46 last night, and to the point where they only scored under 10 points in 2 quarters. St. Clair Saints, on the other hand, started their season on a positive note. They won it 70-54. Your thoughts on that?
They were impressive. You know, as a coach, what you hope is that when players are hurt or absent from your lineup, you hope that other players on the team can step up and take their place and do a great job. And certainly one that did that last night was Tanae Freckleton. 14 rebounds and 8 points and 4 steals. She was amazing, and everybody was really excited about the way she played.
And we'll see how that keeps up here today. That's a story for you between the Knights and the Saints. When we return, Justin Prince and I will be on the call here. You're watching OCAA basketball on We Digital Productions.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back, everyone, to beautiful Windsor, Ontario for today's action between the 1-0 St. Clair Saints and the 0-1 Niagara Knights here on We Digital Productions. Welcome to the Monson Time Express broadcast booth. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders as we look at your starting lineups for today's action. Francine Smith will make the start today at point guard alongside Samantha Cowan. Making the start as well as Mackenzie Schroeder, along with Veronica George Brown. Alana Yates rounds out the starting 5 for today's game for the first-year head coach in Christopher Rayo. For the St. Clair Saints, they're coming off a big victory yesterday, using the same starting lineup as yesterday. Kirsten Tompkins alongside Logan Casera. Today, Freckleton, after a player of the game performance last night, looking to do so today alongside Norbazi and Khalud Ahmad. That's a look at your starting 5s for today's action here in the OCAA, as Andy Kitts and his coaching staff look to try and start the season 2-0, Aaron.
Absolutely, and you know what? It was interesting to see how the Saints played out last night, and like you said, nobody expected that terrific performance from Tanae Freckleton last night. She improved her game during the preseason, and now you can see why she's starting, because it's like what Andy Kiss said last night in the interview. You know, she's been basically the Dennis Rodman when it comes down to getting those rebounds. So it's a matter of seeing how the rest of the Saints are able to complement her throughout the rest of the way. But as for the Niagara Knights, on the other hand, JP, this is growing pains, if you will. They're still trying to find their way to build that chemistry up because, again, the roster is mainly consisting of rookies.
St. Clair in green and yellow, Niagara in white. The Knights win the tip. We're underway from Windsor, Ontario. Looking to drive quickly to the bucket, getting it to go early.
And you know what? I like that good start right there. Anytime you have a chance to go right down to the basket and get a good accurate shot, it's going to work out for you.
Go on with the first bucket of the night. as Ahmad misses the first shot for the St. Clair Saints. Last night, St. Clair came away with a 70-54 victory after a strong first quarter offensively. An 18-2 run to start in that game. Stolen away by Tanae Freckleton. On the fast break, Bazzi, double team, passed out to Tompkins. Outside to Freckleton. Back inside, Logan Casera. Back outside to Bazzi. Chucks up the three, no good.
Bazzi wanted a foul on that, but you have to keep playing.
And Bazzi put up a lot of three-point attempts last night, as that layup's no good from K1. About a minute into the first quarter here in Windsor, Ontario, 2-0 to score for the Saints. Rebound picked up inside by the Knights. Niagara looking to rebound after their loss last night, where they lost 89-43 after their rough first quarter. On the outside wing, passed outside again to K1. Pick and roll, putting up the triple off the front rim, no good. Rebound picked up by Logan Casera. Casera leads up the break. Ahmad, mid-range jump shot, draws the whistle and one. Court Ahmad goes to the line to shoot one for the first time today.
And you know what, you have to keep in mind when you look at the Niagara Knights, this is where the rookies are going to gain the experience. Unfortunately, there was no help on their weak side, which enabled Khalid Ahmad to get the easy shot to go. A little bit too late was Alana Yates on the assignment.
And already a few substitutions coming in. Elizabeth DeBoer from Niagara-on-the-Lake coming in, the first-year player, alongside Kaysen McKinnon, one of the two transfer players for the Knights this season. And you mentioned the youth on this team. 5 returning players for the Knights. 8 first-year players, 2 transfer players. This is going to be an interesting process to see how they are under Coach Christopher Rayo, a first-year head coach.
And you know what? They're doing a good job as far as pace is concerned in this game, JP. And you know what? That's the advantage of youth as the ball goes out of bounds. When you have that speed, you're able to pick up on the strategy too.
Thing is, it takes a while to get used to the systems. Inbound now by the Knights after the ball was tipped out of bounds. Inbounded directly to Schroeder, but draws the whistle. First foul against the Saints on the day. 3-2 is your score, approaching 2 minutes in. Inbounded from the far sideline. Brought back outside. McKinnon drives over top. Tompkins, no good. Picks up her own miss. Second chance, points off the front rim. Rebound picked up by St. Clair. St. Clair trying to push up the tempo. Ahmad drives inside. Again, no good. Picked up again by Freckleton for the second chance points. Resets the shot clock to 14. Tompkins, no good on the three.
You know, 3 minutes into this game, JP, you have to take a look at the shot choices. You're seeing St. Clair going outside and Niagara going inside.
That time blocked down low by Tanae Freckleton in this 3-2 ball game. Approaching 2.5 minutes into this first quarter, and it's not a surprise to see a lot of the three-point attempts. St. Clair did so a lot last season, one of the highest three-point shot attempts a game. They shot 3 for 27 from deep, 12 for 26, 4 for 22 rather, last night from deep. Logan Casera with the ball. Ahmad. Back inside, Logan Casera, jump shot good. And Logan Casera looking to build up that strong 17-point performance last evening.
We saw plenty of those last night, JP.
Logan Casera watches as the whistle's drawn up the floor. It looks like that might be against Ahmad. Yes, indeed, that is going to go against a foul on the reach from McKinnon. First foul of the game for Ahmad.
You know, Khalid Ahmad is one of those master lock defenders, JP, but the problem is it comes down to the hands. You want to be aggressive, and even though you're trying to pick up your own defender, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
McKinnon on second chance opportunity. 2 on the shot clock. Back outside for 3. No good. Tompkins picks up the rebound. St. Clair picks up the tempo. Bazzi back inside Logan Casera. Mid-range jump shot. Too short off the front rim. That time DeBoer picking up the rebound, bringing it back on up.
DeBoer was the Knights' leading scorer last night with 10 points.
Looking to build off that today as McKinnon can't make the layup work in the traffic. 5 5-2 your score.
That was not a good pass at all.
And pushing too hard leads to the turnover. Back outside. McKinnon puts up the three, just short. And Norbazi picks up the rebound. St. Clair rushing back up. Tanae Freckleton rejected. Second chance, no good again. Knights pick up the rebound once more. Approaching 4 minutes into the first quarter. Layup inside through traffic. Schroeder, no good. Tompkins picks up the board once again. Defense, the name of the game so far. The St. Clair College Sportsplex here in Windsor, Ontario. Ahmad, mid-range jumper. To the left, no good. Picked up again by the Knights.
Again, the Saints got lucky because that could have been an easy turnover.
And it's been a high-tempo amount of offense so far here, Aaron.
To say the least, I believe it's, even though the score is 5-2, I think it's still going in Niagara's favor because they're getting closer with their shots as that three goes.
And that one's no good either. K1 off the front rim. St. Clair again trying to test the conditioning. Remember, they ran much of the night last night. Casera off the front rim, another three. Second chance rebound, bounces off the hands of Ahmad. Up the floor go the Knights. McKinnon drives inside, gets it to go. Brings the lead down to just one. And McKinnon is an interesting player to keep an eye on. One of the players that came from the Atlantic with Coach Rayo, a Acadia University transfer who had 27 games played, 34 career points, but 23 career rebounds in just 95 minutes of play.
It's interesting, and again, seeing how she performed with that layup, you know, it shows good promise. Honestly, again, it pays off to the veteran leader. It pays off to the veteran too, the experience.
At the same time, though, as the substitutions come in and out in the ball game here, she's also looked pretty good and aggressive on the glass, especially second chance points so far.
Well, that's what Niagara needed, and that was basically the keys of the game because last night, Saints were aggressive on the board. Saints at Tanae Freckleton as that three goes.
And Schroeder hits the triple, gives Niagara their lead back. First time they've led since that 2-0 start. On the floor for Niagara. Schroeder lined up alongside Tecorti. Trying to battle down low. Draws the jump ball. Tecorti drawing the jump ball against Megan Zelina. Or pardon me, Kaylee Chauvin rather. Rounding out the five on the floor. Smith, the fourth-year player, former Waterloo Warrior, along with rounding out the players in Yates. Rebound picked up down low. Tecorti steps on the baseline, turns it back over. And Tecorti, 6'1", one of the tallest players on this team.
You know what? The good thing about that frame is because it shows an example of how aggressive you have to be as Norbazi pops up for the three and miss. But again, this is the challenge that Niagara has to face. They witnessed how aggressive St. Clair was last night down low. Now they have to answer that.
I agree with you on that, absolutely, as Logan Casera draws the whistle on the second chance opportunity. Approaching 4 minutes to go.
So we see Logan Casera at the line as she makes the first free throw. Good performance from her a night ago. But you know what? I want to get back on the Niagara program. Yes, they're young, but you know what? It could pay off at the end. And you also have to look into their bench and as well as their coaches too, JP, because they have a former Niagara great on there in Bridget Atkinson.
Absolutely, and you were talking about how much you were excited to see her, the first-year head assistant coach for this program.
Absolutely. You know, for the players' first year as their assistant coach, you could see the transition be a little bit rough, but they know a thing or two about the game because they were a part of it a few years ago as the travels called on Kim Orton.
Kim Orton, the first-year player from the region, turns it over. And Orton, a two-time Royal Acadian Award winner, turns it back over to Niagara here in a 7-7 ball game, 3:49 to go in the first.
Obviously a big contrast from last night as we're under 4 minutes.
Turned back over by the Knights. Orton on the fast break, trying to go over the traffic, gets it to go.
She dug her shoulders in a little bit to get her defender off her game a little bit. And she had the right side to work with, and she put it up and in.
Niagara trying to answer back, approaching 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Juke moved, puts up the mid-range, just spins out. That time no good from Schroeder. Gordon brings it back up. Quick pass to Danae Freckleton. Bosses tries to slow it back up on the top. Pick set. Back outside once more. Inside the traffic, trying to spin inside. Orden, back outside. Freckleton turns it back over. Whistle caught up the floor. They take just the second personal of the quarter.
And we see right there, that was a little bit of an aggression foul, JP.
At the same time, not wanting to allow the fast break as the substitution. We'll see K1 back in for Niagara. But the defense was very stout last night. They're going to discuss things, though, on the first timeout of the day today, with about 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Let's take a look at that last game specifically, a 70-54 victory for St. Clair over the Mohawk Mountaineers. St. Clair led 39-14 by halftime in a game that also seen Megan Zelina in her first game for the Saints, the first-year player, 6 for 7 at the stripe.
And Logan Casera, the veteran, leading scoring with 17 points. And keep in mind, there was an 18-2 run at the beginning of the game, too, JP. And the Saints didn't look back there.
Today's broadcast is presented by the Barber's Chair. For over 2 decades, the Barber's Chair team consists of experienced professional barbers ready to provide you with that perfect cut you've been looking for. Walk-ins are always welcome, or you can contact us at www.barberschairwindsor.com to book your appointment today. Today's broadcast is also presented by Mott's On Time Express. Located in Windsor, Ontario, Mott's On Time Express offers its services to anyone in Canada and the U.S. From minivans to 24-foot trucks, we're committed to help with any move, big or small, quick and easy for our customers. Book your next move today at toll-free 877-250-8282. About to get back on our way so far as the energy level is notably down for St. Clair compared to last night. Very high tempo last evening, but as I mentioned last evening on the color seat, the conditioning tested today.
Absolutely, and you know what, when Niagara strikes like that off their first basket, that's going to take the energy right out of you.
Well, here's the thing. It was a short turnaround, and they were going near octane levels of speed much of the night last evening. St. Clair trying to go high octane right here. Tompkins down low to Chauvin. Tapped out of bounds, keeps that side of the floor to St. Clair. 9-7 is your score as McKinnon comes back into the game on a substitution. Gonna bring back out Alana Yates. Logan Casera inbounded to her off her foot. Tries to drive back inside. Brings it in, puts it in. And Logan Casera having a nice start to this game.
And you know what, that was a good drive from her.
11-7 with 2:18 to go. Off the back rim, Casera picks up the rebound. Casera brings it up the floor. Drives right by the defender, puts up the mid-range, no good. Chased down by Takorte. Takorte 6'1", watches as Maliksi drives up, can't make anything work. Tompkins comes back up the other way. Trying to cross the pass. Inside, Logan Casera into a sandwich. Defenders draws the whistle.
And that's a veteran move right there. When you know you're about to be double-teamed down to the basket, you have to take your chances and absorb the contact.
And here's to take a look at that as well.
So Logan Casera right there, the Knights sagging a little bit downwards, and Logan Casera just took the opportunity on that double team.
Logan Casera back to the line so far. 6 points on the day today. In the second game of the season, has really taken control of this game when St. Clair's needed the points to come together after a slow start.
And when it comes to the veteran leadership, you have to pick your shots wisely. And she's been going to the basket more often because they know they need those points to take Niagara out of their game.
Logan Casera out of the game for the moment. Norbazi back into the game. Orden to the point guard spot. On the outside, Knights trying to get points back up. 6-0 run for St. Clair in the past 2+ minutes. K1 tries to pass outside. Swung back out Smith. Smith drives in, draws a whistle. And this is going to be a push staying on that side of the baseline.
Taking a look on the previous play. Again, good awareness from Niagara. And you take a look at Norbazzi, a little too much on the hand check.
Shot is no good after the quick inbound. Taken up by Kaludamon, finding lots of space. Can't make it work.
That was a good move, but you have to control yourself.
The defense coming in from behind helps force the miss. 6-point lead, about a minute to go in the first.
2-3 zone from St. Clair.
Corday passes back outside. K1 watches as McKinnon gets to work. Drives in, draws the whistle. That time driving into Megan Zelina, the first-year player from Wallaceburg. Here's a look at that on the replay.
And she did exactly what Logan Casera did. Recognized the double team and just went in and took the contact.
Driving in, Smith draws the whistle. And that's going to put Niagara up in the bonus. You can see jumped on the pump fake.
Norbazzi bit on that fake for a minute, and that's going to send Francine Smith on the line.
And Francine Smith is an interesting player to keep an eye on today. Mentioned a former member of the Waterloo Warriors for a few seasons. Joined that team at 19 years old after spending an extra year in high school at Dennis Morris Catholic High School. And graduated this year with a Bachelor's of Arts for therapeutic recreation and recreational therapy, now back in a college program.
She's done a whole lot in the last few years, I have to say.
Tompkins outside, off the back rim, no good. Picked up on the rebound by the Knights. Scramble as the Saints puck it back away. Ahmad back outside, swung around.
Oh my.
Finding Zelina, open, makes it.
The less selfish you are, the more chances your teammates are going to get. That was just terrific ball movement down on the weak defensive side.
Half a second difference, shot clock and game clock. 15 seconds to go in the half. McKinnon draws the whistle. And remember, Niagara's in the bonus. As the substitution's getting ready to come in, Schroeder going to come back in. Let's take a look at this replay.
And it all started on the broken play, JP. Kim Orton taking the steal, and Kaluta Mod keeping her head up, recognizing that the defense was not going to let up. 2 passes later, you leave it to Megan Zelina to knock down the tray.
And with a 15-8 score and 15 seconds to go, shot clock potentially could be off if this is made. The defense not as strong today from St. Clair, have to admit.
No question about it, JP. They're allowing more opportunities for Niagara as they keep on cutting down to the basket. You can see them submitting to fouls and everything else. Niagara has stepped it up.
Especially with the lack of foot movement on the defense. But St. Clair has a chance on the last shot of the quarter. 8 seconds to work with. Casera tries to pass down low. Turns it back away. Trying to find Zelina. Christopher Rayo making adjustments. Inbounded quickly. From half court. Off the front rim. Malexi nearly makes it, but St. Clair still leads 15-10 after 10 minutes of play. Way back after these messages, you're watching Weediger Productions from the St. Clair College Sportsplex.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front to Berg to drive the save. After a nice shot to the save. He's right in. Oh, and stops it behind the net. Bergman wipes it right in front, talking, shoots. Oh, and what a save.
You're watching We Digital.
Do your Sundays need a little adventure? How about the Roundabout Trolley Tour? Originating from the Roundhouse Center in Windsor, the tour includes lunch, beverage tastings, and dessert. Boarding from the Roundhouse Center at 11:15 a.m. on select Sundays, you can spend the day touring Paglioni Estate Winery, GL Heritage Brewing Company, and Wolfhead Distillery. Returning to the Roundhouse Center by 5:30 p.m., you're sure to have the best fun-filled Sunday afternoon. Book online at wetrolley.com. Life is about the ride, so get on and trolley on.
everyone, to beautiful Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of OCAA basketball, where St. Clair leads 15-10 over the Niagara Knights so far. But while the lead is by 5 for Andy Kiss and his squad, Aaron, you got to expect a lot of adjustments, especially defensively after this first quarter.
You see they were a little bit slow on the defensive end in the first quarter, JP, and they allowed Niagara to go down to the basket numerous times. That's something you cannot do. But this is a big difference from how they played last night. A short turnaround time, yes, but you still have to be on your guard or else you're going to be giving up plenty of points. So they're lucky they're up 15-10 instead of being down by like 8 or 9 points.
Absolutely. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders, the Monts on Time Express broadcast booth as we get ready for the second quarter. Taking a look at Christopher Rayo right there for a moment. Again, a first-year head coach, the son of Brock University's head coach, Mike Rayo, and was previously the assistant coach for the men's team at Cape Breton University. How do you feel he's done it in his second game in the OCAA?
You know, he's doing a good job. He's making sure all the players are getting time to get on the court because, again, the majority of this team are filled with rookies, and they have to get experience one way or another as that three doesn't go. So he's doing a good job making sure he pays attention to the players, but he makes those adjustments as well.
We were having a quick chat before the start of this game. Was happy to be back at home within the region. Foul drawn that time from Freckleton, as that's 30 seconds into the second quarter. Let's take a look at the reason for the foul.
So McKinnon is the one with the foul as Kaluta Mod finds Tanae Freckleton, and McKinnon had no choice but to extend her hand out to stop the play.
And not allow the easy basket as Freckleton makes the free throw. Last night, St. Clair at the line, 12 for 26.
Not a good start at the charity stripe, but that shot missed.
That ball tapped out of bounds, stays Niagara possession. But so far, Niagara looking to bounce back again after that slow game last night. They're 3 for 19 from the field.
And they're 1 from 10 from downtown, too. So they have to be more wise with their shot choice and be more confident in finishing strong, too.
Press coming from St. Clair forces the turnover. And we were talking to Royal Church just before we came back on air, and he expected Andy Kiss to respond with this press to make Niagara run.
He'll be able to slow them down and bring the game back into their favor.
Freckleton outside, finds Tompkins. Back to Casera. Tries to back up her defender, puts up the post shot, gets it. And Casera with a strong game, she's got 10.
Strong game and a tough shot. Nonetheless, she was able to get it to go. Look, more of that pressure applied from St. Clair.
Ball poked loose again by Freckleton. And one of the things that has stood out in the past couple of years, especially to you in our discussions again, has been that defensive side of the ball for Freckleton. The rebounding was also spotlighted last night with the size.
Absolutely, and that was one of her skills that she improved during the preseason as the inbounds pass goes to the Niagara. So we're impressed at her ability to improve year after year, and that's probably one of the reasons why Andy Kiss has her back in the green and gold.
DeBoer was the one who was subbed out on the possession. Maliksi now guarding Logan Casera. Pick set by Bozzi. Pick and roll. Puts it in the lane. No good off the back rim. Knights try push back up the tempo. 90 seconds into the second quarter here on We Digital Productions. Corner triple. Gets it. Maliksi from the corner. First points of the frame for Niagara.
You know what? It's a good opportunity. The defense just fell asleep right there immediately off that catch and shoot.
Back outside. Casera to respond. No good. Picked up inside by Schroeder. Niagara looking to run and push the tempo. Down by 5. Sizing up. Maliksi. Outside once again. K1. K1 trying to find space. Back outside. Schroeder. Back down low. K1. To Schroeder. Over Casera. Wide right. Gets it. No good.
What a post move.
Tompkins trying to push the tempo back up. Give and go. Getting it to go. And smart ball movement that time.
And you can see right there, the Saints picking up the pace, full court pressure.
And that time whistle called up the floor. As Casera tried to go in double dribble, seems to be the call, yes. And it seems like the press is causing a bit of pressing matters for the Niagara offense.
And guess who was there to cause that double dribble? It was Tanae Freckleton right up front. Niagara didn't expect that, so they had no choice but to hesitate, and it was costly for them.
The turnover gives St. Clair back the ball up by 7. So far, 6 Knights turnovers for St. Clair. 4 for St. Clair. Freckleton puts up the mid-range, gets it.
All right, so.
And today, Freckleton with her first bucket of the game. Freckleton guarding on the outside, McKinnon spinning on the inside,
wow.
gets a defender to fall, gets it.
How about McKinnon with the spin move to get Casera right off, and she was able to get an easy layup. That is a play day material.
McKinnon with some good size, especially for the low block. And we're seeing what can happen when you have that type of player. Orden, meanwhile, misses the mid-range. Bounce back to the outside, picked up, stolen away by Freckleton, but given right back on the sideline.
Again, regardless of the turnover, it was a good effort from Freckleton to try to keep her feet in bounds, as we're going to have another look at that McKinnon spin and basket. Logan Casera was anticipating her to go on the right side, so McKinnon was able to get that nifty spin move, and she was able to finish it off with the left hand.
Quick shot on the other end, brings it to 22-15 the score with 6:38 to go in the second. And our substitution coming in, K1 comes out for Niagara. Coming back, that means Maliksi now lined up on the floor with Yates. Also lined up with Schroeder, rounding the players, McKinnon and Veronica Georges-Brown. Shot is up, good from St. Clair.
It was all because Kaylee Chauvin was the one to set up the back pick.
24-15 the score. Back down low. Drawing the whistle is George Brown. First-year player from Brampton, Ontario. Also one of the tallest players on this roster at 6'1".
Absolutely, and Kim Morton was the one with the foul. She was in the right position, but the problem was she used her hands and her body a little too much at the attempt to block the shot.
And you can tell by these substitutions that Niagara's now trying to respond to the guard-oriented roster and small ball roster of St. Clair with their size. Take advantage of the low block.
And you know what? The depth plays a major key, especially in the game of basketball, JP. And Coach Rayo was able to recognize that.
Up the floor, about 6 minutes to go in the first half. Setting things up is Casera. Puts up the triple. Gets it to go. She's got 15.
And once again, it was because of the back pick from Chauvin that she was able to get enough room to knock down the triple.
That brings the lead up to 10. Largest lead St. Clair's had today. George Brown, no good on the layup. Freckleton rips it away. And Freckleton, a big wingspan, can help a lot with that rebounding.
And you know, that makes up in size too, JP. Made a big difference yesterday, like you alluded to.
Logan Casera blocked on the shot. Fast break for the Knights. Up the floor. Maliksi in traffic off the front rim. George Brown can't make the second chance. Third chance is good, though. And the Niagara bench starting to show a lot of energy on their side after the third chance opportunity.
The reason why they're still into this game, JP, persistency down the basket, not being able to give up. Casera for 3.
Gets it again to go. And Casera is starting to absolutely heat up in this ball game. She was on fire at times in the first quarter, is on fire now. 30-19, second triple in a row. Well, McKinnon makes the bucket.
And it was a mismatch to begin with, JP, with Freckleton right up on her. She just used her force and speed to finish it off.
Bazzi on the pick, tries to drive on the roll. Draws the whistle. And it's going to go the other direction. And this is why, moving screen.
And once again, on that pick was Chauvin. So Bazzi's off to the line.
Going to stay on that side of the floor. Apologies on that one on my part, but a substitution sees Yates come back out of this game. But Bazzi seen a lot of shot attempts last night. 5 for 17 A lot of possessions.
Well, remember, she was comfortable from downtown as her days as a Massey Mustang, averaging 15.6 points per game in her time. And you could see that translate well since becoming a St. Clair Saint. But the one thing that impressed me in this game so far is the off-ball tactics of Kaylee Chauvin to set up the back pick and allow her teammates to work with her, let the play breathe, and get the job done.
Freckleton picks up the rebound but draws the whistle on the pushing foul. That will go against Niagara, third personal of the quarter. Foul going against K1. Freckleton sets up in the corner. Casera runs the offense. Chauvin sets the pick. Back outside Freckleton. Putting it up, no good on the three-point. Kinnan again picks up the rebound attempt up the floor with 4 minutes to go in the second. Driving through traffic at one.
Again, McKinnon is always the one to penetrate through the defense because they're deaf. She got the step on Freckleton through the double team. She flipped it up right in.
And McKinnon with 9 points now in the day so far.
And trust me, those 9 points were easy. She earned those 9 points.
Substitution sees DeCorte back onto the floor. Can't make the free throw though. Casera picks up the board. St. Clair leads by 9. Trying to pass outside. Chauvin to Bazzi. Bazzi from deep. Just a bit short.
Wow.
Freckleton second chance though, drops the whistle and one.
Even though Chauvin was right next to her, JP, it was Freckleton with her wingspan to get the rebound, the second chance opportunity. And we're going to let this replay breathe because you have to see how great that was. Chauvin with the tap, Freckleton with the finish and the and one opportunity.
And that great tap out finds a great finisher to finish a great play for the N1 opportunity. Freckleton can't make it though. Here comes the break again by DeVore. McKinnon puts up the mid-range this time, way too long. Tompkins picks up the air ball as St. Clair pushes the tempo back in response. Casera pick and fade, puts up the three. Can't get it to go. Chauvin rolls in, drops the whistle.
This is almost a similar play from a possession ago. We're seeing some of the strongest Saints players getting right down to the basket, get the second chance opportunity, and try to finish real strong.
McKinnon draws the foul, is the one who called for the foul rather that time, as that brings up Smith. Smith comes into the game while Chauvin goes to the stripe. Chauvin no good on the first attempt. Seen a bit of playing time from her, and of course, Chauvin, notable name for the past couple seasons of basketball here.
You can see that with the depth. Again, Freckleton tried to get it, but going back to Kaylee Chauvin, again, I'm impressed at how she's been able to set those back picks and set up second chance opportunities. 3 is missed, however.
That time tries to tap it out for the rebound, stays on that side of the floor though. DeBoer, the one on the shot attempt as she tries to set up on the far side. 3:22 to go in the second quarter. Should note that St. Clair is in the bonus the rest of this first half. DeBoer. Pass back outside. Maliksi. Hard screen. We're going the other direction. DeCorte, a moving screen. And that time tried to set the screen on Zelina. You have your feet set before those picks.
Absolutely. You know what, def is a positive thing, but if you use too much of it, that's going to cause those turnovers.
Zelina, Casera to Freckleton. Give and go. Zelina goes to the outside. Inside, Casera nearly wedges the ball. Second chance for Tompkins. Casera resets 10 on the shot clock. 2:50 to go on the game clock. Zelina, baseline, tries to pass. Called for the turnover.
She was
Traveled.
looking at Freckleton for the pass, but she picked up her dribble, unfortunately, during that.
At this point, though, St. Clair up by 11, looking much more better, in my opinion, in the second quarter compared to the first.
No question about it. They're becoming more aware defensively and especially on the offensive end. That's why they've been getting those second and third chance opportunities.
Kucera puts up the contested shot, meanwhile, gets it. Kucera having a very strong game still, matching the total from last night. Niagara looking to respond, tapped out, and it will stay on that side of the floor. Substitution we'll see once again. George Brown come back into the game. But at this point, you have to wonder what Coach Rayo has to do with 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go, and what he's going to do in the second half.
Well, you know what, the one thing that's been working for them, getting to the free throw line or going to the basket and get the closest shot possible. They're not paying attention to a lot of threes, but he has to still rely on his depth to get more buckets down as turnovers there.
DeBoer can't handle the pass down low, goes off the left hand. St. Clair brings it back up with under 2 minutes to go in the first half, leading by 13. Driving inside, Kucera, front rim. No good, second chance back outside to Chauvin. Stretching it out, can't get it. Stripped back away for the third chance. Zoina draws the whistle, and again, Niagara's in the penalty. And you'll see why the foul here on the hold.
Yeah, right there, number 5, Francine Smith, a little too aggressive.
That's the 7th foul of the quarter for the team for Smith. That's her first foul of the game.
That's going to put, either way, St. Clair is in the bonus because of that.
As Freckleton goes off the floor here on the substitution, I want to talk again about Selena here. You're with somebody that this program felt they can be one of the key cornerstones, a part of this roster in 2019-20 and beyond.
Absolutely, but think of it, a younger sister of Kirsten Zelina, who was a very good player in the last couple of years as that shot goes from Wallaceburg District High School, so home to the Tartans, and also to her name won the OFSA AA title last fall. So with those accolades, you could see it's slowly but surely translating well in just her first 2 games of the OCAA season. It's a matter of see how things work out in the other months. Oh, what a and one opportunity.
Yates drives in, draws the whistle, and that breaks up the momentum St. Clair have been building.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's all about the effort of going down to the basket and score. And Yates did that right away, found Chauvin and Orton, just put it right up, knew that the def was at her disadvantage, so she put it up, banked it off the glass, and now she's going to try for the three-point play. A fantastic play.
Orton looks like Yates can't convert, though. Stays a 13-point deficit. That broke up a short spurt of points from St. Clair. Tompkins poked out, stays that possession. Approaching the end of the first half here. Stick around as we'll have halftime coverage. Aaron Sanders have the chance to speak with the coaching staffs as well as Royal Church. As the three falls again. 20 points for Logan Kucera. And Kucera helps stretch the lead back to 16, a 41-point first half. 3 in response, no good. St. Clair picks up the rebound. Under a minute to go in the first half. St. Clair slowing it back down. Kucera takes it herself, finds the open man, gets it. And the ball movement continues to be a positive. Niagara looking to respond back again, too long on the 3 by Yates. Gordon given the ball. St. Clair slows it back down, 7-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Quick shot by Kucera, no good. Resets the shot clock to 14 on the second chance. 12 seconds to go in the first half, 8 on the shot clock, whistle called down the baseline. And this will bring St. Clair, it looks like, to the stripe, yes, on the block foul. That's going to go against George Brown. Chance for St. Clair to lead by 20 heading into the locker rooms. And, wow. Guess someone left the door open with the draft.
Well, you're going to have to pick yourself up after that one. You have to forget it. In the game of basketball, you have to forget the last play and think about the next play. And Kaylee Chauvin splits the pair.
Well, there's a way to think about that. Makes the free throw. We're there to make it a 19-point lead. Shot clock is up, though, for the Knights. Turn back over. Casera with 3. From half court.
No.
No good. After 20 minutes of play, the St. Clair Saints take control of the game. They lead by 19 after 2 quarters of play. We'll be back after these messages for halftime coverage. You're watching We Digital Productions from the St. Clair College Sportsplex.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to the St. Clair College Sportsplex. At the half, it's the Saints 44 and the Knights 25. Aaron Sanders alongside the assistant head coach of the Niagara Knights, Bridget Atkinson, a name that a lot of people know, especially in the OCAA, but we'll get to that later on. Bridget, let's talk about what you saw in the first half.
I saw a lot of good things, a lot of things to work on that we're going to talk about in the locker room, but St. Clair, you're a great, fast team, so you got to come out stronger in the second half, you know?
Obviously, a majority of this team are filled with rookies. What's been the approach to that?
Just making sure they're keeping a level head, and I guess introducing them to the OCAA. You know, they came out a little nervous last night, but I think they're a little more grounded this game, and just not being scared.
Absolutely. If there's anybody that knows about the OCAA experience, is you. From a player to now the assistant coach, how has that transition been?
A big thing that I've been trying to instill in the team is just to never play scared, never back down. Every team and every night is different. I mean, we proved that at provincials last year, so just don't ever take a team for granted and go in and just play as hard as you can every single night.
Absolutely. Well, Bridget, thank you for your time and good luck in the second half. Bridget Atkinson, the assistant coach of the Knights. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we return, we'll have more coverage here on the Halftime Report on We Digital Productions.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front to Berg to drive the save. Pass to the next shot. And he's right in. Oh, and perfect. Stops it behind the net. Marksman wipes it right in front. Talk and shoots. Oh, and what a save.
You're watching We Digital.
Welcome back to the Sportsplex, now joined by the assistant coach for the St. Clair Saints, Andrea Kiss. And Andrea, talk about what you saw in the first half.
Well, we're definitely getting good shots. Logan's playing great. She's hitting her shots. We've been able to lock down their players, and we want to just keep that going into the second half.
Absolutely. It was a little bit of a slow first quarter. How did you guys turn things around, despite the depth that Niagara has?
I definitely think our press was good for us. We forced them into a few turnovers, and we're able to capitalize on the opportunities.
You know, the one thing that struck out to me was not only Tanae Freckleton's rebounding, but Kaylee Chauvin's ability to set those bat picks and everything else. I mean, what can be attributed to that?
Well, she's got good size, and there's a couple players on Niagara that are great matchups for her, and she's shutting them down well. So,
you're another one of those players that transitioned from a player in the Winslow Lancers days and now the assistant coach. How has that transition been?
It's been good, learning a lot, being able to see things from a coaching perspective and offer maybe some different insights to players. It's been great.
You got a coach that knows a thing or two about basketball too, so I guess that helps out, huh?
I'm a little biased, that's true.
Well, thank you for your time, Andrea, and all the best of the second half.
Thank you.
All right, Andrea Kiss, the assistant coach for the St. Clair Saints. When we return, we'll have Royal Church join me breaking down the stats and facts of the first half here at the Sportsplex. Stick around.
Do your Sundays need a little adventure? How about the Roundabout Trolley Tour? Originating from the Roundhouse Center in Windsor, the tour includes lunch, beverage tastings, and dessert. Boarding from the Roundhouse Center at 11:15 a.m. on select Sundays, you can spend the day touring Paglioni Estate Winery, GL Heritage Brewing Company, and Wolfhead Distillery. Returning to the Roundhouse Center by 5:30 p.m., you're sure to have the best fun-filled Sunday afternoon. Book online at wetrolley.com. Life is about the ride, so get on and trolley on.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front to Bird to drive the save. That's a nice shot to the save. And he's right in. Oh, and stops it behind the net. Marksman wipes it right in front. Talking shoots. Oh, and what a save.
You're watching We Digital.
Score once again at halftime, the St. Clair Saints 44 and the Niagara Knights 25. Welcome back once again to We Digital Productions coverage of OCAA basketball. Aaron Sanders now joined by Dr. Basketball Royal Church, and you have to be impressed of how the St. Clair Saints turned it up a notch after that very tough first quarter. They were able to turn things on in the second quarter. What happened there?
Logan Kusera.
2 words.
Basically that's what happened. They needed to turn the heat up a little bit, Aaron, because they were sluggish as heck, and they weren't pushing the ball. They didn't have the energy they had the night before, and that's just a basketball hangover from a really good game from the night before against Mohawk. But Logan Kusera recognized that in her team, and she picked them up. And boy, she really put on a show in that first half. 23 points, commanded the point at the point, just commanded the team. And they started moving and started to get their heads together, move their feet on defense. And the result is they pulled away to a 19-point lead.
But on the other end, especially on the offense, they picked it up a notch as well. They're able to get second and third chance opportunities, and a majority of that mainly is coming from the rebounding. Kirsten Tompkins leading the rebounds with 11 so far. Tanae Freckleton waking up a little bit, but again, it goes back to how tenacious and how persistent the Saints were offensively.
Yes, you're right. Kudos to Kirsten Tompkins. She's I've liked her since the moment she came here to St. Clair College. She's a team player. She's a heady player. She's got what we call basketball acumen. She just knows how to play the game. And she's probably, maybe, Andy told me, he considers her oftentimes his most valuable player because of her basketball IQ. So the team's looking good now. They're moving well, playing better defense, rebounding. Tanae Freckleton seems to be, after an initial first 5 or 6 minutes where she wasn't into the game very much, now she's into it. and all the players seem to be much higher energy.
Here's the one thing they have to worry about: the depth that the Niagara Knights have, because you have players like Kazan McKinnon, who came off the bench and scored 10 points, majority of them going right at the basket, so that stems some concerns.
Yes, I know who you're speaking of, a very nice player. She doesn't look like much from the outside, but when she gets the ball in her hands, she can really, she's got great handles. You have to have great handles because she cleanly beat Tanae Freckleton to the basket, back to back down the floor. And that's tough to do with her quick feet. So, kudos to her.
Big mismatch, no question about it. Okay, 20 more minutes to play right here. Let's talk about the keys for the second half for both teams, starting with Niagara.
With Niagara, I think the coaching staff should be encouraged because they played a solid quarter and a half. They let it get away in the second half of the second quarter, but they played solid. They had some good things happen. Some players that showed they can take it to the rim and score. Their perimeter shooting is a little suspect, but there's lots of encouraging things Niagara has after their disaster last night.
St. Clair,
keep the energy high and go get them.
All right. And it's short, sweet, straight to the point. Royal, thank you for your time. We'll see you after the game. At the half, once again, the Saints 44 and the Knights 25. We'll be back with the second half action in just a moment. You're watching We Digital Productions.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front to Berg to drive the save. That's a nice shot. The save. And he's right in. Oh, and perfect. Stops it behind the net. Marksman wipes it right in front. Talk and shoots. Oh, and what a save.
You're watching We Digital.
Welcome back, everyone, to the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of OCAA women's basketball here on We Digital Productions. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders in the Monts on Time Express broadcast booth as we take a look at your halftime stats after 20 minutes of play. As you can see with the stats, just 9 made shots so far on the day so far for the Niagara Knights, as well as a couple eye-popping ones. The rebounds and points off turnovers come out at first glance.
And once again, when you have a team filled with rookies, you're going to get that experience, and unfortunately that's going to lead those turnovers. It's a +5 for St. Clair as far as turnovers are concerned, but 16-0 as far as the points off the TOs are concerned. Now +11 for the rebounds, and most of them were coming off a second chance opportunities on the offensive end. Like, you have a great respan of Tanae Freckleton, and of course with Kirsten Tompkins' 11 rebounds, that played a big factor too.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, St. Clair's been getting to the stripe, 11 for 16 compared to 5 for 8 free throws.
Well, you know what? They've been driving down to the basket, and that worked out for Niagara in the first quarter and a little bit of the second quarter. So St. Clair was able to turn things around, recognize the deaths, and go to the free throw line after absorbing that contact.
Indeed, so far. So that's a look at your halftime stats here for today's action as St. Clair leads 44-25. We're about to get underway for the second half. But today's game is presented by Monts On Time Express. Located in Windsor, Ontario, Monts on Time Express offers its service to anyone in Canada or the U.S. From minivans to 24-foot trucks, we're committed to find any move, big or small, quick and easy for our customers. Book your next move today at toll-free 877-250-8282. Today's broadcast is also presented by The Barber's Chair. For over 2 decades, the Barber's Chair team consists of experienced professional barbers ready to provide you with that perfect cut you've been looking for. Walk-ins are always welcome, or you can contact us at www.barberschairwindsor.com to book your appointment today. St. Clair looking to book their appointment to a 2-0 start to the campaign, up by 19. What do you expect to see here from these two teams as we get ready for the second half?
Well, for Niagara, they have to be more observant in their depth. They have to keep on going to the basket, but at the same time, they have to be smart. I'll get more on that later. As for St. Clair, they shouldn't be too comfortable with the lead once again, because we've seen it from last night. Mohawk gave them a run for their money the last few minutes by stepping up. So what St. Clair needs to do, share the ball more, get some more good looks, go back to the free throw line if need be. Take advantage of that Niagara depth.
Indeed. As the officials of Mary Rondo, John Cross, and Mike Mitchell get us back on our way for the second half here on Weed Digital Productions. Today, Freckleton starts with a drive, gets called for the charge.
And this is not what I was talking about exactly, as Freckleton tried to take care of the mismatch she had. It's just a little too aggressive down to the basket for the teardrop.
And that time, I believe, was Smith. If I'm looking correctly, Smith might have changed jerseys from 5 to 10 during the break. Either way, about 15 seconds into the second half, Knights with the ball. Outside Yates. Swung back out to McKinnon. McKinnon looks to drive, back outside for the triple, gets it.
And again, just like they did in the first half, Niagara strikes first because of great ball movement and awareness to get one of the comfortable shots down.
Malitsky, one of the positives in that first half, 3 made shots so far in the day. That's 8 points for her. Norbazi draws the whistle, caught for the reaching on the wrist. Coach Rayo wanted a whistle for a long while, saying somebody went too far.
Absolutely, somebody went down to the basket and was not ready.
Inbounded by St. Clair regardless after the first personal against the Knights at the quarter. Bazzi stripped away. McKinnon puts it up and in.
Again, on one end, McKinnon instigating the offensive end, and on the other end, just finishing real strong.
McKinnon's got 12, leading scorer for the Knights. Second chance stripped away from Bazzi. Here comes the high tempo. Back outside, Yates for the triple off the back rim. Picked up for another Tompkins rebound. And it was surprising to see 11 rebounds from her in the first half. Usually don't see that much amount of rebounds from her, just 7, but she can be active with 9 rebounds a game as the shot is made by Bazzi.
Well, again, with Kirsten Tompkins, she's all over the court, and that's in a good way. She just found herself in the right position for those rebounds.
The OCAA West Division's Rookie of the Year and All-Rookie Team member, second-year player from Sarnia. McKinnon spins, drives, draws the whistle. Kolodamad on the defensive play. Call for the second personal for the team in the quarter. Third personal against Amada on this play on your screen.
And you know what? Based off what Royal and I talked about at halftime about the depth, I think the responsibility is going to lie on McKinnon the rest of the way. She's finding her ways to the basket, getting herself to the free throw line and a boot. At the moment, she has
making now
12 points. Well, now
yes.
13 points, the leading scorer for the Knights, and it's because her ability to stay strong and finish strong.
Thing is, too, she's one of just 2 players to make more than 1 field goal on the day. And you need to make your shots if you want to have points to contend for a win. Logan Casera, one of the top scorers in the first half, finds Tompkins, puts it up. And Tompkins hitting the bucket, stretches the lead to 17. Approaching 2.5 minutes into the third quarter here on Wheat Digital Productions. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders in the Monts on Time Express broadcast booth as the Niagara Knights respond with the triple.
Once again, St. Clair being too sluggish down at the side. It opened up another great shot for Niagara.
48-34, quick shot, good. And Norbazi responds back with her own triple. And all of a sudden, the Rainmakers are coming out. Driving inside McKinnon. We're going the other direction. Offensive foul against McKinnon. And that's going to draw a substitution for George Brown on this play.
Yeah, this time around, McKinnon just used too much force on the play, trying to beat Kim Morton on the dribble along with Logan Casera. It's just good positioning from both of the Saints.
Casera helping draw the whistle, gives the ball back to St. Clair. Second team foul of the quarter. For McKinnon on the game, now 3 personals. Driving inside, getting it is Casera. And she's been on fire all game. A triple-double threat in the first half.
But what more can you expect from the veteran? 3, no good.
That time, second chance picked up by George Brown. 11 on the shot clock, putting up the corner shot, no good. Bozzi helps pick up the rebound for St. Clair. Approaching halfway to the third quarter. St. Clair going slower tempo, looking to pick it back up. Bozzi off the screen, just rims out. Second chance though, picked up by Orden. Outside Chauvin, bullet pass to Casera, gets it again!
Wonderful play. Wonderful play. That's one of the advantages of staying up at the top of the key. You're going to see a whole lot of action from down in the paint.
And Casera's on fire, 27 points in 25 minutes. Quick pass, intercepted.
It was all because of that pick from Norbazi.
Timeout coming up from Niagara. Bozzi gives it back to Chauvin. Takes it back inside. Over George Brown, rejected. Battle for the rebound, picked up by Tompkins again. 9 on the shot clock, 5:40 to go in the third quarter. Up for 3, Casera, swish it. Timeout Niagara.
That's 30.
And an absolutely stellar game from Logan Casera. 30 points in the third quarter already.
You know, at this point, Niagara has to be aware when she catches fire like that, you have to put a body on her to just contest her shot as best you can. They didn't get the memo, especially down at the three-point line.
And this is something we have seen a bit from her. Not expecting a 30, though, in game number 2. Remember, following this game at about 3 p.m. Eastern time estimated start will be the men's teams, where those 2 teams will look to battle. The 1-0 St. Clair Saints coming off a thrower against the Mohawk Mountaineers, taking on the 0-1 Niagara Knights, who are looking to bounce back after an 84-75 loss to Lambton last evening. Stick around to watch that action here on Wheat Digital Productions. Be sure to also stick around here with for the action in the county, because on Sunday it is Frontman playoff action in the OFC. As the number 1 seeded Frontman taking on the GTA Grizzlies. Start time is about 5 p.m. Eastern. You can catch that again on Wheat Digital Productions, and that should be an interesting one. The Frontman looking for our championship, looking to get themselves against the winners of the London Hamilton Series.
Yeah, they have to take it one game at a time, and that's what they did. After the hiccup against the London Beefeaters on the road at the beginning of the season, they were able to kick it up a notch. Finish off with a 7-1 record, the best in the OFC. We're just going to have to see how far they could go, starting with the task against GTA Sunday.
Absolutely. Again, that is on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, here on Wheat Digital Productions, as we're back underway for action. Whistle called, as St. Clair had a couple with defenders reaching in. Orden looks to be the one on the call.
Yes, that is Kim Morton. That's going to be
second personal.
That's right, JP, and the third team foul to boot, as Niagara will inbound it.
And with the foul, that brings the reset for Niagara. Another whistle, and this time it's going to bring up the Bunny Ears. To the line to shoot 2 is DeBoer. That time on the defense, Selena.
So Niagara is now recognizing that the only way they're going to get buckets is by absorbing the contact and getting close to the basket. I said this time and time again, it'll get you trips to the free throw line as that free throw is missed. You have to earn those points at this point.
Especially when you're down by so much here. It was one of the main discrepancies when you looked at the stat lines amongst the two teams where St. Clair had that advantage. They're changing that tide already. 4 fouls in about 5 minutes for St. Clair in this quarter. 58-35, quick shot, Selena, no good on the triple. DeBoer, after the free throw, is making up the rebound on the defensive side. Takes it herself for the layup, no. Picked up again, Tompkins. Tompkins now with 13 rebounds. Getting the pass back inside, yes! And Kirsten Tompkins now on double-double watch. She's got 8 points.
And it was all because North Bazzi came up with the assist.
Drive inside, George Brown fighting for the jump ball. Doesn't get it, instead called for the personal. And George Brown wanted the jump ball as they were fighting for the rebound that time. But here's a look at that give and go.
And Bazzi found a cutting Tompkins at the right place at the right time. Good give and go opportunity for her. And Bazzi was able to control herself and get the awareness down.
Niagara going for a small ball lineup now, multiple substitutions. As Orden draws a whistle, and we're going the other direction. That time losing the balance in the ball. But while Orden has had some ups and downs today, is someone that is going to be an intriguing prospect to watch. We mentioned the 2-time Royal Acadian Award winner, a strong high school prospect expected to fit in fairly well in the high tempo defense of this team.
And Cam Morton has a lot of stuff to provide. You're just going to see it unfold during the season.
Casera no good. Tompkins again with the rebound. Back inside, Orden on the drive, draws the whistle. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. So Kim Orden back to the stripe with 4 minutes to go in the quarter. That time trying the jump from DeCordy.
She tried to challenge DeCordy with that basket. And again, it's a matter of cutting and taking on the traffic.
Third personal against Leanne in the game. DeBoer already getting ready to come back into the frame for Niagara. Kim Orden in her debut with St. Clair last night. 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from the free throw line, but 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 4 assists. As substitutions, we'll see Tompkins get a breather, along with Bozzy, Freckleton coming back into the game alone. For comparison's sake, Aaron, Orden's already got 10.
So you could, again, you're seeing the rookies getting their experience on there. So this is a new start for both of these clubs, and Kim Morton's doing a great job taking responsibility.
Drive inside, Yates, no good in the traffic. Freckleton helps contest that shot. St. Clair leads big, 61-35. Swung back around, Casera at the corner 3, can't get it. Freckleton gets another rebound, second chance, points, leads to the swish.
And you have to wonder why the Saints were able to get that second chance opportunity. Freckleton through 2 defenders, taller than her.
And offensive rebounds, very key. That one bounces off the backboard. Casera tries to size up, puts it up, misses. Freckleton gets another offensive board.
Incredible.
It draws the jump ball, it can't get back up. And Freckleton showing some more hard effort on the glass, but even more so St. Clair on the offensive end. 12-3 offensive rebound advantage.
And you know what? That's been their diamond of the rough all day. That's how you open up second chance opportunities. That's how you open up more abilities to score and work your way through the free throw line. You're going to get those buckets one way or another. They're not going to be given to you. And St. Clair's been working it the old-fashioned way.
Mackenzie Schroeder draws the whistle that time, goes to the line to shoot for 2. And another substitution coming in is K1. The foul going against Selena. Selena going to be third personal. That puts Niagara in the bonus on this play.
And I'm sure they've been waiting long enough for that opportunity. So, again, you see the ball moving down at the wing with Schroeder driving.
And it's Selena trying to reach in on the drive. And I don't blame them for trying to send him to the line at this point, though, because despite the free throws increasing, they're about just 8 for 14 on the game so far. 63-36, 2:40 to go in the third quarter. Bazzi kicks it out. The corner, Zelina, no good. Picked up by Yates in the battle with Freckleton. Pass up the floor. Lost down the sideline. Couldn't keep the handle on the high tempo.
But again, you have to admire how these rookies are complementing each other on the court. And only just their second game, JP. They keep on finding ways to get stronger every day. And especially, they'll find that 1-2 punch eventually. And that was a testament to that.
And here's the thing, it's going to take a process. It's even taken the best of coaches a couple seasons to rebuild a program.
Right.
And again, you got to remember, for Coach Christopher Rayo, first time coaching women's basketball and taking over a team that's coming off the bronze in 2018-19, led in part with his main assistant coach in Atkinson.
Absolutely.
Missed shot on that one, second chance opportunity on the air ball. Back outside to the corner, K1 with Ahmad in her face, no good. 63-36. In your opinion, who's really stood out from this Niagara side, though, in this ball game in terms of talent?
Kaysen McKinnon, with her depth and her speed, she's been really making an impact statement, according to my eyes. She's been able to get the buckets. She's been able to get her defenders off their feet, and she's been able to take care of business.
Shot no good from Freckleton. The thing is, she hasn't been able to play much of this frame due to foul trouble. Zelina back outside. Bazzi up on the top, 4 on the shot clock. Trying to put up the contested mid-range on 1 foot, no good. Tap back up by Freckleton. Niagara getting the possession regardless. And right on cue, McKinnon is ready to come back into the game. So the brain sides back in for Schroeder. And McKinnon, despite the foul trouble, has been really the top shooter for this team. 50% from the field, 13 points, 3 rebounds when on the floor, but 3 personals. That was something that plagued her at Acadia University when she played down there.
Absolutely. She wants to be responsible on the ball. 3 doesn't go. But again, it still impresses me how she keeps on going down and scoring those shots, scoring those buckets.
Freckleton draws the pump meanwhile. Selena outside. No good, off the screws. Picked up again by K1, under a minute to go in the third quarter here on Weed Digital Productions. St. Clair leads 63-36. Both teams on a dry spell. Dry spell broken by the layup. Malitsky with the bucket that time.
And Malitsky was able just to find the hole in the Saints defense and finish it off easy.
And both teams are on a cold spell at that stretch, about 2 to 3 minutes without a bucket. That one thrown out of bounds and given back to the Knights. And it looks like Christopher Rayo is constantly wanting to make these adjustments here, as this is going to bring back in Francine Smith. Here's a look at that last play, though.
And a really good look for Malitsky. Bazzi kept her hands up because she's probably anticipating a foul, but you have to do more than that, or else you're going to keep on giving up buckets every time.
And a foul called on the inbound play. A pushing foul brings Ahmad to the stripe. And now both teams are in the bonus. So Khalud Ahmad to the stripe, 1 for 1 so far today. Make it 2 for 2 with 4 points and 3 rebounds, but 3 fouls.
And you can see the foul trouble keeps on piling up for both these teams.
Second free throw attempt, no good. Niagara pushing the tempo. Shot clock is off. Will they go for the last shot, or will they go for the open shot?
Oh, what a fake.
McKinnon gets the fake to the corner as Yates. No. St. Clair will have the chance for the last shot of the quarter. 7 seconds to work with. Bazzi slows it down. Chauvin the pick. Bazzi the roll. Contested mid-range, gets it at the buzzer. After 3 quarters of play, the St. Clair Saints are in cruise control. 66-38 is your score. We'll be back for more coverage of OCAA basketball after these messages on Week Digital Productions.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back, everyone, to the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders in the Monson Time Express broadcast booth. And what has been a strong game for St. Clair? Aaron was just talking with Royal, actually, just before we were coming back about what we've been seeing with St. Clair. This is a team that, for St. Clair, looks like it's in mid-season form already. We're in game number 2.
And you know what? They're opening up a whole lot of opportunities as far as shots are concerned. Coming out in the third quarter, shooting 43% from the field compared to Niagara's 25, is because they've been able to stop looking outside and they started going inside.
And the thing is, though, too, this is a team, if you remember, for St. Clair that had 8 returning players coming into this season. Those players have been stepping up. The players that are coming in that are young in their first years have also stepped up today.
Well, you got to look at Kim Orton, too. She has 5 points and 5 rebounds. And remember, she's in her first year as well. Megan Zelina adding 4 points and 2 rebounds. But again, the big thing to pay attention to is Logan Casera. She has caught fire. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, again on triple-double watch. And Kirsten Tompkins adding to that with 15 rebounds. It's those opportunities that keep on opening up for St. Clair, and of course the veteran presence that come with it too.
Along with 4 offensive rebounds, mind you, for both Tompkins and Freckleton. The offensive rebounding has been huge for St. Clair as we're underway for this fourth quarter.
14-4 as far as the OBs are concerned, 34-26 overall.
Tompkins no good on the long shot. Knight's taking it back up. Smith giving it to McKinnon. Transfers player to transfer player, stripped away by Ahmad. Drives out, kicked out. Oh, Orden to Casera. Off the tip, gets it.
You see, DeBoer almost got a hand on it, and Casera was there to bail them out.
32 points for Casera as the contested layup goes in.
And that's Maliski again, who has stepped up in the third quarter too, had 10 points to end the third.
And she's been one of the positives off the bench along with McKinnon, while Casera will go to the stripe. Logan Casera with a stellar game that time, drawing the whistle on Maliski. Here's a look.
You see, Logan Casera knew Maliski could not beat her on the dribble, so she just went right to the basket.
First personal against Maliski on the game today, but a stellar performance from Casera, from somebody that remembers that second part of the Casera twins. Janet Casera out for today along with Anna Yelichny. Off the missed free throw, second chance opportunity, stripped away from Logan Casera. Olitsky, kick back out for the long 3, DeBoer, no good. Casera picks up yet another rebound. That marks now 9 on the game, 1 away from the double-double. Kick back out to Ahmad. Defender falls, rebound picked up for Yates. Cross courts to Maliski. Maliski tries to size in, stripped away. Tapped away by Orden, stays Niagara ball. A substitution, we'll see Schroeder back in here.
The one thing to mention too, JP, on the Saints side, they also brought in Paloma Ducre to match up with the depth of Niagara.
Ducre lined up with Ahmad, Tompkins, Casera. Rounding out the 5 is Orden on the floor for them. Casera gets the pick from Ducre. Whistle on the screen, we're going the other direction. And that's going to be a moving screen going against Ducre. And Ducre, one of the first-year players to keep an eye on. Tallest player on the Saints roster at 6 foot, but as well was a gold medalist in 115-kilogram wrestling this past year.
So again, that brings up the discussion about depth as that shot goes.
That time for Francine Smith, the jump shot good. Just her first made field goal of the day. Hard screen.
Oh my.
Hard jumper, no. Ducre with a heck of a screen. Here comes the fast break. Malitsky bounces back from the screen with the layup. And she is one of the hot spells of this game. Now the leading scorer for Niagara.
14 points to her name.
Back outside Tompkins, meanwhile, for St. Clair, approaching 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Casera tries to find Ducre, thrown away by Smith. Again, Malitsky comes back up, stops. Passes down low to Smith, can't get it. Tried to use the window.
Just a little too strong.
Multiple substitutions waiting on the wing side for St. Clair as Ahmad drives it down the baseline. 71 points on the game for St. Clair as a whole now.
And one of the problems for Niagara is their ability to respond from the sideline when St. Clair has set the drive down there.
Yep, pushing the tempo as Smith can't make the jump shot. Malitsky can't hold on to the offensive rebound. Passed out of bounds off of Malitsky. That's going to stay Saints' possession. Multiple substitutions coming in. Bozzi, along with Chauvin and Freckleton coming in. Also see McKinn come out. That's going to bring George Brown back into the game. As timeout called on the floor to discuss things here. Niagara down big, 71-44 here in this fourth quarter. Next Thursday, the Windsor Spitfires are back at home after a victory against the London Knights last evening. Be sure to check that out as they'll be taking on the Sioux Greyhounds. For tickets, be sure to go to windsorspitfires.com or in person to the WFCU Center box office. Should be a heck of a home game, game number 7 on the home schedule.
No question about it. I mean, how about that great victory against the Knights with Engel with that nice shot between the goalie's legs. Incredible performance from him.
4-2 was that final score last night, but as these teams discuss things, St. Clair on the way to a 2-0 start right now and have a strong performance yet again. At this point, you have to say Logan Casera having a hell of a game today. A player of the game style performance.
A hell of a game indeed. Knocking on the doorsteps of 35 points. She has 33 of the night. But you have to understand, that veteran presence, it's just paying off.
And this is good to see after she had to miss some time last year due to injury, just played 13 games in total.
That collarbone injury turned things around for St. Clair. Her twin stepped up despite the injuries and everything, and now she's getting back to her form, like you said. That shot's missed.
Her twin, Janica Casera, ended up winning the scoring title in 2018-19, currently day-to-day at the moment with her injury. Bozzi picks up the rebound on the missed shot by Niagara, meanwhile. On the floor for the Saints, Tompkins, Bozzi, Casera. Rounding up the court is Chauvin along with Freckleton. Outside, Tompkins, corner, no. Had a hand on it. Yates coming up on the fast break. Looking to respond, does so with the layup. And Yates making the bucket that time brings the lead down a little bit more.
The Knights have the advantage in transition because of their speed. We seldom seen that from the Saints here today.
25-point advantage at the moment for St. Clair, approaching halfway to the fourth quarter. Tompkins, no good on the triple. Still looking for that double-double. Schroeder tries to kick it up, meanwhile, no good. Second chance, George Brown picks up a third chance over Bozzi. Niagara resets for the pick and roll. Malitsky kicks it back out. Swung for the extra pass to Schroeder. For the open three, no good. Bozzi picks up the board. It's clear what Niagara wants to do here. Push the tempo to try and close this gap.
But it's not working in their favor so far with the shot choices.
Corner shot. Chauvin gets it. And Chauvin extending the range a bit with the lone two. 73-46. Long jump shot, meanwhile, tap back in. Picked up by St. Clair. Halfway to go in this fourth quarter. St. Clair looking to secure things off. Chauvin to Bazzi. Puts up the jumper, no, off the back rim. Picked up for the second chance by Bazzi, throws it to Coach Kiss instead for the turnover. And Coach Kiss, a little bit of a smile and a laugh from them and Bazzi. I mean, passed it to the right team, just not on the floor.
Right, right.
Brain substitutions. That will see Niagara make a bit of a swap that time. 4:35 to go. Bounced around. It's first time seeing Samantha Baptiste. No good on the lawn shot. Baptiste coming into the game for some experience. Lined up with the eights after the air ball shot from her. Along with K1 rounding up the players on the floor with the last substitution coming in is going to be Stenica Gilbert alongside Lisa Lowe. So Niagara now clearing the bench here, Aaron.
Well, they're seeing that more of their players are going to get more opportunities as the game looks a little bit out of their reach right now as Alina misses the three. But again, more experience with a team that mainly consists of rookies. But you have to tip the cat to them. They put on a great effort here today.
Shot no good that time from Baptiste, but what are some of the positives you think Coach Christopher Rayo can take from this game, looking at a second straight loss?
To be able to utilize McKinnon in a great way, because there was a time where she was just catching fire from just going to the basket, absorbing the contact, and getting the job done. Another one you have to look at it too is just the good choices from Jessica Maliski. Not only shooting from outside, but going inside as well. And you have to admire the hustle from them too.
Yeah, the hustle has definitely been strong much of this game, especially when it's been picking up with some of the adjustments. Bazzi's going to come out of the game here, and their substitution. St. Clair going to bring in Sierra Emery for the first time this season. Knights setting up, 3:30 to go. Inside the traffic region drawn. But for Emery, is another one of the players that come from WF Herman. From their program, was also part of the Windsor Valiants under-19 roster for the past couple seasons.
And you know what, St. Clair has always had a good relationship with the Valiants. Like, think of it, the alumnus from there, Nora Bazzi, number one, she was the coach of one of the teams last year, along with another one too, Shannon Kennedy, as I'm reaching confirmation from Royal Church, yes. So again, it's a good relationship, and you can see them going far, and now they're getting their time on the court.
Trying to go for the high post shot. The Knights losing the possession, stripped away.
Good fight from Emery.
That time stripped away from Gilbert. Caceres still on the floor, working on the pick and roll from Ducre. Ducre coming in as you've seen on the last stoppage. Pass to Ducre, bounces off everything. Able to keep the possession though. 7 on the shot clock, down the baseline to Ducre. Can't get it off the window. Second chance, no off the window. Third chance out the window, says no. Freckleton resets for the new shot clock. Outside, Emery gets it.
Is persistency an understatement? First off, congratulations to Sierra Emery for getting her first 3 points as a St. Clair Saint.
But second, the multiple offensive rebounds from Ducre and then Freckleton who reset it. 2:30 to go in the fourth meanwhile. Lowe loses the ball, draws the reach. But to get back to your point, and players such as Kennedy, of course, a stellar player in her time with the Saints, one that made multiple records, someone that still comes to the games even today, as we've seen last season and parts of today, and parts of this season already.
Well, once again, once you're a St. Clair alumni, that goes with you for a long time, and that kind of dedication just really is a testament of how far you could go as a St. Clair Saint.
Timeout called on the floor by St. Clair. They have 3 total left. Niagara with 1 total on the game, up by 30. A couple minutes to go. Speaking of next game, the men's will be taking the floor at about an estimated starting time at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Again, the Knights taking on the Saints. Be sure to watch that here on We Digital Productions as St. Clair looks to start 2-0. As well on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, the Windsor Frontmen get set for the OFC playoffs with the #1 seed taking on the GTA Grizzlies. That semifinal matchup, again, can be seen live on We Digital Productions from Alumni Field here in Windsor, Ontario. So St. Clair getting ready for a 2-0 start, pending what could happen here in these final few minutes. Coach Kiss, still a lot to work on here because, as talked about by Coach Duffy yesterday, you don't win medals in October and November in this league. You win them by February and March.
And it all starts by getting your first-year players some experience. That's why we're seeing Emery and Ducre on there for the first time into the game. And we're going to see another player in there, too, in Melody Turner.
First time we're seeing Turner come in. Specifically, Melody and Runic Turner, the full name. On the pick and roll, meanwhile, the Knights score. That time the bucket good from Baptiste. 76-48, 2:08 to go in the game. Whistle called, travel against Orden. Another substitution with seat to 4 back into the game. 2:08 to go in what has been a stellar game for St. Clair. Started off slow, but responded very well second quarter on.
Absolutely. Again, they were experiencing a little bit of basketball hangover from last night. They thought they met their match, but now you open up that opportunity for Logan Casera and company to get onto a scoring tear. That's going to get you a W.
Rejected by Ducre that time, meanwhile. Fast break down the floor, meanwhile. Tapped out of bounds by the Knights. Possession kept by the Saints with 19 on the shot clock here, but that was the question for both of these teams. Could they have the quick turnaround, especially with only about, give or take, 14, 15 hours between start times? Melody knocks it out of bounds, can't keep the possession. We'll go the other direction.
I mean, Niagara had a little bit of a disadvantage because they started the season on the road and they came in here today. But again, I keep on seeing many positives for this team. Despite them having a lot of first years, I'm seeing a lot of promise from them, and in the next few months, they're going to blossom.
I'm really interested to see indeed how they do blossom to try and get themselves ready, to see if they can be ready for postseason contention. Remember this Niagara squad last season under their former head coach that had to step aside, won the bronze in 2018-19.
And that was Michael Beccaria you were talking about.
After 7 seasons. Ducre, no good. Picked up by the Knights. A minute to go in the fourth quarter. St. Clair getting ready to start 2-0 in the season. Rejected by Selena. Low on the second chance, draws the whistle. And that's going to be the 15th foul against St. Clair. Now 4 for Selena.
Now, JP, as we look ahead to the Saints' schedule, they're going to play their next 2 games on the road. But before that, we have Niagara going to the line and Lissa Lowe.
Pardon me, the foul called that time in Emery. As Lowe looking to make the second free throw. Niagara in the bonus rest of the way. Second chance, getting it. And a great rebound that time for one of the returning players in Baptiste. Brings the lead down a bit more to 76-50. 26-point advantage for St. Clair with 40 seconds left. Hook shot, no good. Ducre kicks it away. Pass back down low, off the window to Ducre.
And Ducre finally gets on the board.
After multiple opportunities a couple possessions ago, able to get the points after 3 offensive rebounds in this game. Couple seconds to go. Niagara, no good on the shot. Picked up Selena, stripped away. Reach and called though off the wrist. And it's going to be inbounded down the baseline. That's going to go against St. Clair. Zelina is done for the game. That fouls her out. 5 fouls for Zelina.
Good effort from her. She didn't get on the score. She didn't get on the scoreboard today, but nonetheless, she put on a great effort here today.
Especially in terms of the stuff off the stat sheet. Well, 4 points first off for Zelina. But second, the rebounding, the steals, the defensive positioning, we're all together for Zelina.
It's just off-the-ball material that just works out.
Another offensive rebound. Jump ball drawn. And the possession arrow stays on that side of the floor. So Niagara, despite the big deficit, they're fighting to the bitter end.
Especially with the multiple new players again on the court, and then you're seeing a mixture of the veterans. Bapti, for example, filling in the depth.
Passed outside to DeBoer on the inbound, puts up the three with 9 seconds to go out of bounds. St. Clair possession. Woliski having a strong performance for Niagara, 14 points, 13 points as well for McKinnon with 3 rebounds and 50% shooting. But the player that will stand out on the stat sheet tonight, Logan Casera, 33 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, helps propel St. Clair to a 2-0 start. They win 78-51. A strong performance gives St. Clair the victory here on We Digital Productions. Post-game coverage is coming up after these messages. Stick around. You're watching We Digital Productions for the St. Clair College Sportsplex.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front to Berg, drive the save. Pass to the nice shot to the save. And he's right in. Oh, and stops it behind the net. Marksman wipes it right in front, pocket, shoots. Oh, and what a save.
You're watching We Digital.
Do your Sundays need a little adventure? How about the Roundabout Trolley Tour? Originating from the Roundhouse Center in Windsor, the tour includes lunch, beverage tastings, and dessert. Boarding from the Roundhouse Center at 11:15 a.m. on select Sundays, you can spend the day touring Paglioni Estate Winery, GL Heritage Brewing Company, and Wolfhead Distillery. Returning to the Roundhouse Center by 5:30 p.m., you're sure to have the best fun-filled Sunday afternoon. Book online at wetrolley.com. Life is about the ride, so get on and trolley on.
78-51 is the final as the Saints move up to 2-0. I'm joined by the player of the game, Logan Casera. 33 points, 11 rebounds. And Logan, it looked like a little bit of a slow start in the first quarter. What did you do to take over from the second quarter on?
We just stayed mentally tough, and we just fought through, and we kept pushing and pushing and pushing the floor. So we're a fast team, so we just have to use that to our advantage.
You have to be impressed by some of the first years here because they put on a really good job. Like, for example, Megan Zelina off the ball and Kim Orton. What does that say about this team moving on?
It's good. We have our young players stepping up, and they're not nervous. They're continuing to build their confidence, and it's going to help our team in the future.
We'll see how that works out. Thank you for your time, Logan, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Royal Church, we're going to bring you in. Let's have some final words from you, because from the second quarter on, it was all St. Clair.
Yeah, about the middle of the second quarter, a little sluggish, not much energy going on out there. And then Logan Casera picked it up for her team. She just commanded the ball, ran the ball up and down the floor, and the whole game changed after that.
Absolutely, no question about it. Now the Saints go on the road for 2 games. They play at Fanshawe, and then they play at Lambton. It's going to be an interesting battle, to say the least.
Those 2 games will both be tough. We know Fanshawe is a great team because last year they won the OCAA championship gold medal, and they're always tough. And we know Lambton is outstanding because they punched Niagara in the mouth last night, big time, 89-43. So those 2 games next weekend will be a huge challenge for St. Clair.
All right,
and I think Jana Casera will definitely be back next week.
We'll see what happens. Let's get ready for the men's game now. Again, the final score, the Saints 78, the Knights 51. We thank you for tuning in for the women's portion of this doubleheader. Men's action coming up next in about 3 p.m., so stay tuned around We Digital Productions for that. But for now, for the entire crew here, this be Aaron Sanders. You're watching We Digital Productions. Men's action coming up very soon.